Hello, welcome to MCFC9320 Group TV Podcast. Hope you well. Hello, John, Anne-Marie and Alex. How are we?
Evening. All good?
Yeah. Well, this should have been a title-winning podcast tonight. However, you know, I'll try and keep it polite. The United fans took that away. Do you reckon they was just running scared or what? And they didn't want us to win the league yesterday? They did everything in their power to stop us, John?
Yes, they did. They tried to blame it on the Glazers, but really it was just them not wanting, because they obviously thought Liverpool would beat them, and they didn't want to take that chance of them losing, which would then give us the league, and I just don't think they could have coped with that. So they had to do something. I
don't really want to touch on United too much, but you know, what happened yesterday did affect our celebrations, if you like. So it's in our hands, you know, on when we play Chelsea on Saturday.
One good thing I can say about it is, in a way, they've actually done us a favour, because there was no City players celebrating last night winning the league. Mm-hmm. So there's no hangover for tomorrow.
There's an hangover today for me.
And me.
But that's a different story. Alex, how's it been perceived over where you live?
Obviously, my country is full of glory hunters and bandwagoners. I'm probably the only City fan here, proper City fan. So didn't pay a lot of attention to the local stuff, but the clips that I saw on Twitter, you know, the breaking the door and storming Old Trafford, that was a disgrace. I mean, it was so disgusting. I'm just glad we're not part of that fan base in any way. And yeah, I think John was right. They didn't want to lose to Liverpool and lose the title to us. So fair play to them.
Right, that's enough of them. Anne-Marie, Palace yesterday. Enjoy it. Or Saturday, I should say. I keep thinking it's Sunday today.
I did in the end, yeah. First half, I don't think we were firing on all cylinders, but in the second half, but they just couldn't play against us at all, Palace.
No, that goal
by Sergio was brilliant.
Incredible goal. And I think I tweeted after the match, it left me upset, angry and frustrated, knowing that Sergio still got it and it's not going to be for us.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
as long as it's not for anybody else in this country, it's all right.
He wouldn't do that, though, would he, John?
You know, no, football's a weird thing, innit? And I don't think he would go to one of our direct rivals. I think he's going to Barcelona.
Yeah, makes sense with his mate Messi.
Yeah, and play with his best mate Messi. You would, wouldn't you? And to see them two playing week in and week out with each other would probably, you know, gel quite good, and obviously it'd be good for Argentina as well, wouldn't it?
It could have been for us though, playing together. I have no doubts about it. Sergio would have been staying with us, and Marie don't smell. Messi would have been at City in the summer, but because Sergio's on his way, that changes everything. Do you agree?
I still don't believe we'd have got Messi in the summer.
We would.
I don't think we would have done, and the reason I don't think we would have done is because that bringing him in would just bump up the age of our squad, and that's not the way we've been doing it. We've been buying younger players and progressing that way, and that's why I don't think we'd have brought Messi in the summer.
We would have done. Trust me, I'm a City fan. Alex, would that have happened? Come on.
No. It's always been unrealistic for me, because first, I think he would be possibly overpriced. Second, his age, even though he's the best player in the world, but still. And I for some reason, I just couldn't imagine Messi playing in the Premier League. I think Spain has always been his thing. So just couldn't imagine it.
Anyway, are we going to sign an out and out striker? Because I've always said, and I was proved right again yesterday, that Ferran Torres down the middle is a better prospect than playing on the right. John, will we bring someone in?
For them to let Sergio go, I think we've already got somebody lined up. I don't think they would allow him to leave if we didn't have anybody lined up. And he wanted to stay, obviously. But they've said, no, you're going. So obviously they've got must have somebody lined up. And it must be a done and dusted deal, because letting Sergio go is a no-brainer, really. You know what I mean? You'd keep him. He's still got 2 years left in him, I reckon.
I totally agree with you. And even if we were to give him a season rolling contract, like you say, it's a no-brainer. And to let him go, it's still sickening for me, because for me, he's the all-time great City player. People might cite, the late Colin Bell and David Silva, etc. But Sergio had absolutely everything. And let's not forget, he actually adopted his style when Pep come in. You never used to get Sergio chasing the ball down and stuff like that. So he had to adapt his game, and fair play to him. He's good at it as well. So I think it'd be a huge loss for us, not just on the pitch, but even off the pitch next season. Well,
I remember Sergio saying that he's not leaving us until he wins the Champions League. So is that going to happen this time?
I think he knows we're going to win it. Do you, Alex?
Yep. I'm hopeful, and I would really like that to happen just for Sergio.
Yeah. Yes. Going back to the Palace game yesterday, though, although I don't think we was bad in the first half. It was controlled. There was a lot of changes. There was eight changes.
Yeah.
But there was nobody who played bad, I don't think. It's just we just
Sterling.
Okay.
I don't think he played that bad, actually. He played better than he has done.
Yeah.
But he still wasn't up to his usual scratch.
Would you give him a new contract, John?
Yeah. He's still a good player. Yeah, he's going through a bad patch, but it'll come back. And he's only young. He's got plenty of years left in him.
But he was like that before Pep come in. Pep got him playing to a decent, more than decent level. And it seems to me that he's dipped back to the Sterling pre-Pep.
I think there's something going on personally with him.
If I've got something personal going on with me, I don't take it into my workplace.
He's younger than us.
Is it? You sure? I'm only quite young myself, I mean, what is it with Sterling?
I think it comes down to his decision making. That for me is one of the key things, and part of his performance on Saturday was he's trying too hard. He knows himself he isn't playing to the best of his ability, so he's trying that extra bit, and it's just not working for him. And when it comes to making a decision, unfortunately, at the minute, he's generally making the wrong one.
Do you think he knows he's under pressure, not just for club, but for country as well, from Foden? Because Foden is exceptional on the left. I don't hide anything, because I always say Foden is our best left-sided player. So I think Sterling has got that in the back of his head as well, that Foden could replace him, not only in the City team, but for England as well.
Very possibly. And obviously these fellas read the papers and whatever else, and it's been certainly in the papers a lot the last couple of weeks. It wouldn't surprise me in the least if we started to see more of Foden playing that way for England. But it's a bit like we said when we were chatting about, Sergio. Class is permanent.
Yeah.
And I think there'll come a point where something just switches for Sterling. And what wouldn't surprise me is if he didn't kind of finish the season great for us, but then had a brilliant Euros.
Yeah, I won't rule that out. Alex, what's your stance on the Foden Sterling left side debate?
I'm always confident that Foden will give his best and probably, be the best player on the pitch, especially over the last couple of games. And it's really unfortunate because Raheem has the potential to be one of the best players in the league. Absolutely, with his pace, with his goal scoring. I was watching the Palace game and he was wasting too many chances.
I agree.
And I think at least half of those chances would have been goals if Foden was there. So I'm not too sure because Foden is good in every area, I would say, not just on the left, while Sterling is kind of specialized.
Yeah. John, what is going a little bit under the radar at the minute, it could potentially be Fernandinho's last season for us as well. I'd like to think, although he's 36 tomorrow, I think. I hope that's a happy birthday. I'd like to think because there's no rumours kicking around, because you normally get a rumour kicking around of a player's leaving. So I seem to think that he will be offered a 1-year rolling contract.
I don't see why he shouldn't. Because when he played, the other night, our best player so far. The Palace game.
Yeah,
he's brilliant.
The way
best player for me.
The way he just covered everything, especially yesterday, he protected the back four because he knew that because it's just his movement. He just seems to go left to right. It might look boring, but the job what he does and his distribution then going forward.
He reads the game very well.
Yeah, he's still our best player, our best midfielder in that position by far. Yeah. So
yeah.
I'd like to...
And I agree with what you're saying, Andy, but one of the things I actually said it to my dad watching the game on Saturday, Rodri must be one of our most underrated players because we don't necessarily talk a lot about him and his kind of game. Yet I would say, he's had the most minutes in the team this season and last season, if I'm not mistaken. And he must be one of the first names on the team sheet.
But if you think back though, Fernandinho never used to get praise or anything like that. I think he's only getting the credit what he deserves now because he's coming to the end of his career with us. So
players like that though only get praise off the actual fans, the people who actually watch the game in and out all the time, because they know what they do for the team.
Yeah.
You get your strikers get all the praise and your defenders, but the one in the middle, just the whole, the holding midfielder, they just basically they're the ones that dictate how the game goes, the speed of it, and just basically everything. And them two, I'm not too sure when they play together because sometimes it doesn't work.
Yeah,
because they get in each other's way. But when they're playing on their own and things like that, they're just perfect.
Yeah, so he would, along with Sergio, he would be a huge miss for me next season as well if he don't sign a contract. But yeah, I've got a feeling that he could possibly be offered a player coaching role.
Yeah,
that's.
I've heard he's got something set up for the club afterwards.
Yeah. So
tough.
PSG with 2-1 ahead. Not a bad position to be in. I believe I'm with Pep as well. I believe Mbappe will play tomorrow as well.
Yeah.
Even if he's not fully fit, because I think it was after about 75, 80 minutes of the first leg last week, where you could see him, he actually pulled up Mbappe. And I said to my lad when he's injured him, I said, it won't surprise me if he comes off. So would he get over an injury like that in a week? I don't think so. I think Amory, he would start, and I can see Paris Saint-Germain going at us from minute 1 tomorrow.
Yeah.
Absolutely. They will do. There's no doubt about it. I think we just, a bit like the first game last week, we just need to hold firm and bide our time because, what we did see is that the chances will come against them. They haven't got our... you could see, come 70 minutes in the game last week, they were out for the count.
Yeah, he was. He was absolutely deflated. You could say, especially, they did go down to 10 men, but as the people always say, 10 men's harder to play against than 11. So the credit has to go to us, for holding that. People was also saying, we should go for it. You should go for it more now. We should have killed them off. I don't believe we should have done. I thought our game management, not just in the Paris Saint-Germain game last week, I'd probably say since the turn of the year when we've been in a decent position, it's been brilliant, Alex.
Yeah. I mean, the first half against PSG was pretty bad, but being able to turn the whole game around in the second half is phenomenal.
What's the first half bad though, Alex? I thought, Paris Saint-Germain had a lot of decent chances, but they scored from a set piece. They did have chances and they'll get chances tomorrow. But I thought it was our good defending. I thought Diaz was absolutely sensational. I thought Stones were brilliant. Even Walker, I thought Walker had a top class game. So all the big guns seemed to come to the party. And as the second half went on, you could see that we was getting stronger and stronger and stronger.
Yeah. I think that was also the case with PSG in the Champions League final last year, because at some point they just became too tired, and that also happened in our game, and I think that will also happen tomorrow. I think they will be firing in the first half, running, flying all over the place, but they won't be able to keep up with us.
What was quite evident, John, in the first game was Neymar is just a diving cheat. He's a petulant cheat as well.
And what was quite obvious was the referee wasn't giving us anything in first half. Not a thing. He gave PSG everything, and they just played him left, right, and centre. Second half, he did wake up and he started seeing things our way. And basically, PSG just lost their heads, didn't they?
Yeah, totally. And the goals we scored, I thought, decent goals as well.
Well, people were saying about Mahrez they said, all he did was shoot at the wall. How does people not know that he's actually watched these before, watched the wall, and see how they open up when they jump?
Is that because Mahrez said that he didn't mean to hit it there? That's probably why, But I'm with you. It doesn't matter whether there's a wall there. It's on target. So if it's on target, it's always got a chance to go in. But as I say, the game management was brilliant, and I think, I hope, touch wood, that has a factor from minute one tomorrow, because they will come at us mentally. We will be stronger than them, because you dodged the Neymar question as well. Is he a diving, petulant child?
Yes.
Yeah. Would you like to see him at City?
No.
Alex?
No.
Marie, no. I'm with you.
I said that last time when we played him last time. I didn't want him there. Yeah. He was exactly the same then.
It's just trying to get players booked. He was just diving about. He needs football boots on his knees or his backside, because that's where he seems to spend most of the time on, lying about, rolling about on the grass and stuff like that. But however, he is still very, very dangerous, and we have to manage him. I think Fernandinho may start tomorrow.
I don't think we had a problem in the first game. Yeah, we didn't play that well first half, but they didn't really have trouble us, really.
No.
We seemed, Diaz seemed to have Mbappe covered. And they just didn't seem that fantastic. Second half, we just wiped the floor with them.
Yeah. I just thought it was an incredible performance, and we need something like that. Let's we'd have to go chasing the game tomorrow. I hope I'm wrong, but even a 1-0 defeat tomorrow, we're still through.
Yeah, we're still through.
Yeah. So any positive result tomorrow, because they will come. Like I say, they will come chasing us. But that's when we're at our best. When
the space opens up, we'll be fine.
Yeah, and I do think we'll see tomorrow, Anne-Marie, a Sergio appearance in the second half?
I'd like to think so.
I think he'll start.
He might well start, because
No.
it was one of the things that I thought was in the first game. I thought we needed a centre forward in the first game. I thought we needed that focal point up front.
Yeah, I agree. Somebody who thinks like a striker.
Yeah.
Yesterday, I don't know. Again, I was talking to my lad when I was watching the match, and I went, just watch Aguero's movement. He doesn't automatically go bombing forward. When someone's there, he'll bomb forward, then stop, and then go back, because the defender always goes there, and it just gives him that much of space. Like that goal, whether it meant by Mendy or not, into Aguero, his first touch, the way he took that, and then just boom, you can't teach that.
No. The thing is, like we're saying, PSG will expect Pep to play the 49 role again. And he might start Sergio just to confuse him. You never know.
I can't see.
Possibly.
I'd love to see Sergio start, because even if I half fit Sergio Aguero, I'd have starting. But I just think he'll bolster the midfield up a little bit strong tomorrow. Unless he plays Aguero in midfield, which I doubt it. But I think he'll go with Gundogan, Rodri. I think he might also go with Fernandinho. In that like,
that's too much.
Interesting setup.
Yeah, that's too much.
But they're not. No, he could put. Well, Gundogan don't necessarily have to play defensively, does he? But if you had Fernandinho playing in that sweeper role, it'd give Rodri and Gundogan just that little.
But then who do you not play?
Ederson. No, and that's it. He might. Is that vodka, that, Anne-Marie?
No, just a Pepsi.
Just a Pepsi. So
yeah.
Who can you see him? Who can you see starting tomorrow then?
Obviously Ederson.
Yeah. Back for yes.
Tell you what, I'm going to write these down.
Okay.
All right.
Let's see who's the closest. Right. So, yeah, Ederson,
Zinchenko, Diaz, Stones, Walker.
Yeah.
Gundogan, Rodri, Kevin.
Yeah.
Foden.
That's 15 so far.
No, it isn't. Actually, how many is it? I've lost count.
Foden, Mahrez, then your middle one.
10.
10. So Mahrez. And I'd like to go with Aguero. And if not Aguero, he'll play Bernardo.
Right. So to confirm, Ederson, Zinchenko, Diaz, Stones, Walker, Gundogan, Rodri, KDB, Foden and Mahrez.
Yeah.
I would go exactly the same for a man there.
Same here.
Yeah.
Oh, come on, you just copying now.
No. Did we just speak then as I was saying it? Yeah.
No.
See, what that shows is that women do know stuff about football.
It's just reversing in cars. John said they don't know anything about.
What's the offside rule?
Well, can anybody explain that these days?
Not even the officials can explain that one, John, and VAR can't explain it. So what chance have we got? No, but in it weird that all of us have opted for the same players there.
Because them the ones that's in form. That's the best 11.
And most of them didn't play against Palace, which I think was on purpose.
Do you think, Anne-Marie, do you think Zinchenko was underrated? I do.
I do think he's underrated. I think, he came on against PSG in the first game and seemed to kind of just settle us down a little bit.
I agree.
And also, he came on in midfield against Palace. And, I mean, that's obviously his more natural position. And I just think he's capable of more than we actually see most of the time.
Yeah, and like you said, there his natural position is a midfielder, but the way he adapts, I think he's been one of our better players this season.
He's improved a lot.
Yeah.
Well, he was fighting for his place, wasn't he?
Mm.
And he's
But
done
then
well.
you could say the same about Cancelo. Since we came back, since we started again after the initial lockdown, Cancelo's got to be one of our most improved players, because before lockdown you wouldn't have wanted to see him in the team. But
I
since
think
he's come back,
he's got the pace a little bit over the past few weeks.
so I think the past few weeks he's maybe not been at his best, but prior to that, because nobody could have handled him the way he was moving into midfield and things like that.
So why is he not in your starting 11 tomorrow then?
Because I don't think we need a bit more pace at the back, and I don't think he's. I think he's probably usually our first choice right back.
I would
in
say
comparison to Walker, but Walker's a lot faster.
I would say I'm not playing him because he wanders out of position too much.
Good shout that, because he does. He seems to go.
He does
diagonally, don't he? He don't.
Yeah.
It seems to go more or less as a.
He goes all over the pitch.
Yeah, but
he just leaves us weak on one side then.
Well, that just shows you though how far we've come with, because we're not criticising, we're nitpicking there. So we're nitpicking pretty much on perfection, aren't we? Which if you can do that,
when teams are parking the bus, that's fine. But when they've got a lot of pacing of the team and the quality like PSG have got, then you don't want to be weak on one side.
No, because they'll obviously play Di Maria tomorrow as well, and Mbappe and that rolling petulant child they'll play as well. So I think solidity is the key tomorrow, because we've got that in Stones and Diaz. Don't want to tempt fate. Zinchenko and Walker, I think that's a decent old starting 11 there. But I can see Gundogan, if that is the 11, just dropping back and letting
Say that name again.
Who?
Say that name again. Gundogan.
Who says it's Gundogan?
He does.
Does it? What does he know? It's only his name, isn't it? Hey.
He pronounces it Gundogan.
So get that game out of the way tomorrow, and it's Chelsea on Saturday. Big game that, because Chelsea have been playing really, really well since their new manager come in. I'm not even going to say his name, John. I think they've had one really poor game. I forget who it was against now, and they got a little bit of a smashing, but it was down to is it 9 or 10 men they had. But
9 men weren't it? So then went down to.
I just don't want complacency to set in. If we get a positive result tomorrow, which God forbid, we will. Chelsea will be a tough match.
Yep.
Here's one for you, and this is total random one. We played last Wednesday in the Champions League, and we're playing Tuesday this week. Chelsea played Tuesday last week and playing Wednesday this week. Why does that happen in the Champions League, where somebody on a Tuesday then plays the following Wednesday and vice versa?
I don't know. It's like we played on the Wednesday and then we was the first game on the weekend.
Yeah.
It's as if they don't want to give us rest. But because we were the first game on the weekend, that allows us to play on the Tuesday.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know what I mean?
Confusing.
It's just always puzzled me. That was just on a side note anyway. So Chelsea.
A potential preview of the Champions League final there on Saturday.
I hope not.
I know, I hope not as well.
But our best 11 should beat Chelsea.
Absolutely right. So I don't want to get ahead of ourselves. Who would you prefer in the final if we get to the final?
Real Madrid.
Real Madrid.
Yeah, I think we'd have a better chance of beating Real Madrid.
Yep. No. We smashed them last year.
we'll have a fair chance at beating them both, but Real Madrid will actually have a go at us. Chelsea won't.
Chelsea will try and catch us on the counter.
Yeah.
We're a bit prone to being caught on the counter because our last few goals that we've conceded have all been, counter attack or set pieces. So yeah, I agree with that. So we can't take Chelsea lightly on Saturday because it almost seems through the social media and stuff like that City fans are just taking it for granted already that we're going to beat Chelsea on Saturday, to win the league. And it's the wrong way to start thinking, in my opinion. That.
Yeah, but we're just typical City fans. We're old hats, and apart from Alex, he's a bit younger than us, but we just think typical City, don't we?
Yeah. So, with regarding social media, what's it been like for you guys with the boycott of social media so far?
I boycotted it all weekend, apart from I put my first tweet out this morning because, as far as I'm concerned, weekend was over. Monday.
Yeah, I'm still in Sunday mode. I was thinking, what's going about there? So, a lot of ex-City players and stuff like that. Not just, probably wrong to say just ex-City players or anything related to City. It's all professional footballers and clubs and stuff like that. I think it's been quite boring, really. Because normally you see players or clubs, coming out with decent stuff, and for it to be like a blanket boycott, I think the people who do all the online bashing and stuff like that, the racism stuff like that, I think they need to, have a long, hard look at themselves, because what we've seen this weekend could be the norm if everybody, all the players say, for instance, that, well, that's it, closing the account. Yeah. I think the only way to combat all this is for everybody to prove who they are and get a blue tick.
Yeah.
So that is the only way. So
well, that's not down to the people who are using it. That's down to the companies that run it. They need to be looked at. But it's like all these things saying about the Premier League owners need all this stuff going on now because of this Super League. Well, it's the same thing. The government should step in with like to Twitter and Instagram and things like that, and everybody should be verified, like you say.
It's the only way, Anne-Marie, in it, to
100%. Unfortunately, there's no restrictions, because you can do anything, even like to join up and put, get your account on Facebook. You're supposed to be, I think, 13. Yeah. I think, but
even more.
Absolutely, you can put any date of birth in.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean it's true. And so I think there's got to be a way of being able to prove things, and because it's too easy for keyboard warriors to sit there and give it out, after a game or whatever.
They're actually kids.
Yeah. And
mostly.
It's like now, if an online abuser just goes, say, on Twitter, for example, they go on there, abuse somebody, their account gets closed, they just open it up with another email address, and they just carry on. And I agree, John. I think it is down to the likes of the Twitters and the Facebooks and stuff like that to get a little bit tougher. But I don't think they ever will, because they make too much money.
Well, the more people use it, the more money they make. So if they make it as though you've got to be verified, there'd be a lot less people using it.
It could even
make as much money.
Could actually get to the stage where if they do something like that, you have to pay to get verified, which that'd be making more money off innocent people who are not actually doing all the online abusing and stuff like that. Right, next season, we've seen some leaked kits. Alex, have you seen them?
Yeah.
No?
I mean, both designs, especially the second one, I think it was the away kit or the third kit, I don't know. The navy blue one. They're awful. I mean, the shade of the what?
One that says Man City across it.
Yeah, that's a ridiculous shirt. I just can't see that happening. It looks like a training shirt.
That's not a shirt.
That's fake. No. Did you see the ones I retweeted on Twitter earlier?
Nope.
Just
give it a look now.
Just check them out. I'll see if I can find my phone now. Yeah.
The home kit has the wrong shade of blue, to put it mildly.
Right, so I don't know if you can see. That's the rumored home kit. Can you?
Just searching it. Okay.
Yeah.
Here we go.
Slowly. Right. Okay.
This is the rumored second kit, which something I like.
Yeah, that's not rumored. It's true.
Yeah. And
okay, the home kit is okay. The away kit, the white one, not for me. And the third kit is
like a dark blue one.
I quite like that one.
I like them
yeah,
all.
it's decent.
I do actually like them all. I think they'd look well on me, and doing things like
The pictures I've been sending you, a friend of mine sent them to me, and the person that's actually said yes, they are true. He's a buyer for JD Sports, and they get shown the kits before anybody else.
Well, I was at the club shop yesterday. Was it yesterday, Sunday? Yep, yes, definitely yesterday. And I was talking to one of the guys who works in the club shop, and he says they've already got the mannequins with champions on the new shirts ready to roll out. So
good.
I think we will see that, because normally is it the last game of the season anyway? They're allowed to wear the following season's kit. So no, I like them. I think they're decent.
Well, that
pretty simple.
The
which
away
is good.
one, the white one, is actually white shorts and white socks as well.
Yeah, they'll look all white then, won't they?
Yeah, all white. Yeah,
look all white.
Like an England kit, won't it?
Spurs.
Oh yeah, I do like the look of them. So the Premier League title, although it's not done and dusted now, it potentially could be done on Saturday. So it's just we might not even need another. We've just got to assume that the Rags will win their remaining games. They won't win their remaining games.
Well,
no,
that's if they go ahead.
Yeah, well, from what on Sky Sports News, I was recovering from my hangover earlier, and I just had Sky Sports News on, and they had representatives from different fanzines and stuff like that on Sky Sports News, and they was condoning the violence. And they said, there is going to be more of the same, basically. So, so what they should do there straight away? Okay, then there's a potential threat of it. Either deduct them the points now, or just that's it. You're playing your home matches at a secret venue somewhere.
I'll just step up the cordon around the Old Trafford. Just put the police around it.
It did make me laugh though, because one of the people they was interviewing on Sky Sports News, he went, "Yeah, we had all our fans. They was in unison from Sheffield, Aberdeen, and everywhere other than Manchester."
Who was it? Gary Neville?
No, he seems to be coming in for a little bit of stick by his own.
Yeah.
And the same with Carragher. You can't. Thierry Henry nailed it. He says he's with every fan who has protests and stuff like that. But yesterday it was over. The mark was overstepped by. It's just at the end of the day, it was just thuggery, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That can't be allowed to happen. And if there is going to be more of the same, maybe United won't finish this. Maybe they won't finish the season. And they get everything what's coming. So to finish on, all right, we'll touch on it in more depth possibly next week. What players do you think we will lose at the end of the season? We've got Aguero, obviously. John, come on, stick your neck out.
If it doesn't go any better, we could lose Sterling.
Yep.
Like I
We
say,
know Garcia's going to go in the summer as well, don't we?
Yeah, luckily injured for tomorrow anyway. So
yeah, well, yeah. So I think Mendy's a cert to go. I think we will.
I don't. I don't.
Why?
I'm not too sure.
Because when he plays and he's back up to spec, he's good.
I actually caught him yesterday making a tackle and passing it to a City shirt.
See? Improvement there.
There you go.
No, I think you could possibly be right with Sterling, no, John, because there's just something what's not adding up there with him.
Well, what are these rumours about him seeing this girl, apparently, the one of the physios? Have you not seen it?
Don't listen to rumours, me.
Did you not see at the end of the Caribbean Cup final where the cameras run him and this blonde girl gets hold of him and he goes like that, you know, as if to say, no, not you. You not see the cameras are directly on him.
No, you'll have to dig that one out.
Have a look.
No, you'll have to dig that one out. But, you know, maybe it is performing in other areas of his life, just not on the pitch at the moment. But that's none of my business. Who do you reckon we'll lose, Anne-Marie? If you had to pick one player who you think, your gut instinct will lose.
Need to rephrase it anyway. We won't lose them because we don't lose players anymore. We get rid of them.
Yeah, we make profit on players now.
Yeah.
Not so sure, are you? Not who you want.
I'm not.
Mahrez. Who do you think will? You're warming to Mahrez, aren't you?
I'm not going to say I'm warming to him. I will say, and you know, I know you'll be shocked by this, but I was impressed with him last week against PSG. I think it's one of the best games I've ever seen him have for us. That's not to say I wouldn't like to still see him go.
Too harsh.
Maybe, but I think the one for me is, and it will confirm for me that we've got somebody lined up, is Jesus. I think may go as well if he's not guaranteed.
I wasn't going to ask Alex because that's who he's going to say anyway.
Yep, Gabriel Jesus.
Do you not think he's been restricted though with when Sterling's in the team?
I just don't think that we can rely on him anymore because we have this false nine system that's working. I think there's a striker lined up for us, either Haaland or Dan Ings or whoever. And I just think Gabi Jesus will eventually become redundant in that system.
Alex, how can you bring Danny Ings into the same sentence as Haaland?
Because of the rumors. Not because I think they're similar or anything, but...
The rumors are Harry Kane, Lukaku, Danny Ings, Haaland. I don't think Haaland. Who? Lukaku,
really?
Yeah. Obviously, you're not reading our group a lot, are you, Alex, or our website?
We've been busy.
What do you think of this new signing we've actually just signed, the young lad?
I saw the article.
Don't know much about him. What's he called, John?
I can't remember. I can't tell you.
I just was getting my own back then. Were you Gundogan before? Yeah, don't know much about him in all honesty, so I can't really say much about him. Do you know much about him?
No, not enough about him.
No.
And it just makes me wonder. We seem to do this quite a bit, where we'll buy somebody who's a teenager and then we're just loaning them back out, and we never actually get to see them play. So.
The Brazilian guy from last year, I think Jan Couto or something. He's probably gonna go on loan and
what's he called?
Never see Jan Couto, I think. It's probably a totally different pronunciation.
Dario Sarmiento.
What's he called?
Dario Sarmiento.
The Italian?
No, he's Argentinian. So he's
Argentinian. Is it? The Argentinian.
Come on, boys, play nicely.
You're sorry you pulled me up over Gundogan, no?
Winger.
Hey?
The winger. Another one.
Another winger. Well, I think Torres will start going down the middle, as I said earlier, but that's another story. Right, anything else you want to chat about, guys, before we go?
Score predictions for tomorrow.
Tough.
I'm going 2-1.
2-1 for me as well.
You've not said who to, though.
City, obviously.
City.
2-2.
2-2. Right, thanks for your predictions. I don't want to predict. I'm.
Go on.
I'll
Go on.
okay then. I think it'll be 2-1 to PSG.
Extra time.
Not bothered, as long as we go through.
We won't.
We
Yes.
won't with your prediction.
But I know, but you know my reverse psychology though, don't you?
Yeah.
Hmm?
Just like Everton in the FA Cup, you predicted 3-0 to
Yeah.
Everton.
And who won?
City. There you go.
Point proven by me. Reverse psychology. So you let me be when we score predictions. But in all seriousness, it's a huge game for us tomorrow because if we get to the final, it's just made for.
I think we're winning. If we go through, we're winning the final. I just can't see us losing to either
Sergio.
Real Madrid.
It's made,
Okay.
It's made for Sergio. Do you not think?
Yeah.
Third minute.
Wins us the first Premier League title. And it ties up what you said earlier, John. He's not leaving until.
He's won the Champions League.
So it could all tie up very, very nicely. Right, guys. Thank you as always for joining us. It's been a pleasure as always. And,
Agreed.
if we get through tomorrow, we might have a little Zoom to celebrate. I don't mean a nice lol either, John. Not one of them Zooms. God forbid if it doesn't go right, there's no way we'll have one. I'll be sulking too much.
Yeah.
As you all will be. All right, cheers, guys. Hopefully we'll
Take care, everybody.
tomorrow. Cheers, guys.
See you tomorrow.
Good night.
Bye.